Film shrapnel, come out to play. Film shrapnel, come out to play. Good afternoon, everyone. We are Film Shrapnel. I'm Tobias. This is Craig. And today we're watching The Warriors. Hi, Craig.
Hi, Tobias. You couldn't have got like 3 bottles or something, 3 beer bottles. That would have been better.
I know. I was literally just tapping my table with like anything that makes a tingy sound. I used a stapler.
Oh, jeez.
Well, we're talking about The Warriors today. This is something that I've been nagging Craig to watch for fucking ages. And upon rewatching it, I fucking love it. What do you think, Craig? First impressions?
I'd never seen this movie. It's been on the list for a very long time. It's one of those like kind of classic ones that I really should have watched a long time ago. But yeah, my first impressions, I really liked it. It's a very fun movie. It's a very little interesting one.
It's great.
What I really liked about it is that the plot is very simple. It's like literally just a bunch of guys trying to get home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing. So for those of you that have never, and you know what, we can make this plot summary really, really quick. For those of you who haven't watched it, it's like set in a sort of alternate future where the gangs of New York have all, sort of taken their turf. And there's like hundreds of gangs, different gangs, governing over their small patch of turf. And then this guy called Cyrus, he calls this big meeting in the Central Park, I think it's meant to be.
No, I actually looked it up. It's not Central Park. It's one that's in like Yonkers, which is like further north,
right?
Which is important to the plot, by the way.
Yes, it is. So they go meet in this park. All the gangs, or about 100 gangs, all over New York. 9 guys, no weapons. They go for this big meeting, and this Cyrus guy basically pitches them the idea of, if we all work together, we can take out all the police and we can run this city, essentially, is the plot. And then he gets shot. The Warriors get blamed for it, and then they have to trek all the way back to Coney Island, bopping from train station to train station, avoiding all the other gangs of New York. And that's the whole plot. And it's fucking great.
Yeah, it's really good. I actually looked up the journey because I was really curious, because I didn't know where Coney Island was. I thought it was like next to Manhattan, but it's actually like to the south of Brooklyn, I think. And Yonkers is like north of Manhattan. And I looked at it on Google Maps just out of curiosity. How long would it take? And it's like a 2-hour train journey. So like really, they're like in the middle of absolute nowhere. And yeah, and it's
they do say halfway through that when shit kicks off, they do say it's going to take us an hour or 2 to get back.
Yeah. And yeah, man, it's a really nice movie. And I would actually really love to remake this movie, actually. But we'll talk about that later, because I know you have a plan for it.
I have a vision. I have a vision for a remake of this film, but we'll talk about that in the next episode.
Yes.
But for now, let's just get cracking on The Warriors, because I'm like so keen to talk about this movie. I have been ever since we started Film Shrapnel. Even like Craig will tell you guys, I've been nagging for like a whole month dedicated to Walter Hill movies. I really like Walter Hill. This was his first movie. I think it's his first movie anyway. But he's done a bunch of other stuff that's also really good. He's done an Arnie film that I like. He did 48 Hours and another 48 Hours. He's done a few flicks that are really, really fun and really worth watching. So maybe this won't be the first, maybe it won't be the last Walter Hill film that we do on the channel. I hope not.
Yeah, I did look into him a little bit. He's got a lot of actiony stuff.
Yes.
A a lot of interesting ones that they're not very well known, I think, but they look really fun to watch.
You'll be surprised to know that he's like a producer on all the Alien movies as well.
I think I did see that. Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's had a big hand in the Alien franchise, and he's done loads of stuff. He's done absolutely loads of stuff, and I think he's really good. I'm a big fan, and he writes a lot of his movies as well.
Hmm. I was also curious about so this movie, The Warriors, by the way. So I read up on the guy who wrote it, and he's a guy called Sol Urich, and he's led a very interesting life.
Yeah,
So he's from New York, but his parents were from it would have been the Soviet Union at the time, and they were like proper communists. And so he grew up in a communist household in before World War II. Then he served in the army for the American side, and I think he did get a degree in literature, but also he was a social worker at one point as well. And so I think that it's implied that his experience working with youths really helps inspire this story. But also he's really into Greek legends and the old mythological stories. Although this is not completely a mythological story. This is based on one story. I forgive me because I can't remember the name of it, but it's about a guy who's actually called Cyrus, who's I think he was a Persian prince, and his brother was the king of Persia, and so he convinced a bunch of Greek mercenaries to go and try and take over Persia basically and take it for them, for Cyrus. And that's the basis of also this story as well. And they open with it as well at the beginning of The Warriors, which is quite nice.
So I was going to ask you. So I've watched this film many times in the past. When I watched it this time, all of that comic book transitions and that opening sort of prologue with the story of the Persian prince.
Mm-hmm.
That's not in the original cut that I used to watch as a kid.
Oh,
that's
really?
Not there. No, so that's some new revamped director's cut thing that I haven't seen before. So I got something new out of it this time. I have to be honest though, I think I prefer the original cut a lot more. I don't really dig all the comic book transitions. I didn't love that.
I actually liked it. And I was impressed by it because I was thinking that was in the original. I was thinking, that's pretty well done for a film from 1979 to get that effect so well.
No, that's definitely some 2000 director's edition bullshit. I don't like it. I think it's unnecessary. The original, it doesn't go all flashy with the editing. The editing isn't remotely distracting at all, and I felt that was I found it too distracting. I like I say, I was expecting it to look at one way, and then I'm getting this other flavor that I'd never seen before, and I would definitely rate the original cut higher, but only marginally.
Really?
Well, only marginally, because it's not like it's a huge it's not like it's massively detracted from the original. It's still the same footage. They just throw in some additional transitions that I just personally thought was too flashy.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I actually quite liked it because I know that this was a comic first before it was a film.
I thought it was a book.
Or might have been I think it might have been a comic or a graphic novel actually.
Oh, interesting.
And I thought that they were paying ode to that, and I was thinking, okay, because a lot of comic book movies, when you go far back, they're not so great. So I thought, okay, here's a nice one. Here's a nicely, properly adapted comic book story. It's predating so much of the comic book stuff that we have now. That's everywhere. So I quite liked it, and I thought, yeah. But now that you mention, maybe it does make sense because the way that they kind of did these they froze the screen and it became comic book style, and then it would swap to the next scene. And I thought that's really well done. And now that you mention it, probably wasn't in the original cut. It makes sense that maybe someone added that much later. Yeah.
Hmm.
But also, I do think that kind of fits in a little bit with this, because this film is a bit flamboyant. Like the gangs
Oh
are
yeah.
very stylized. Like I don't know if I was to remake this movie, I don't know if I would go down that route again.
Well, you
Uh
wouldn't go down the makeup direction.
well, not just to make like this, like every gang has to have a style,
The
and it's a bit,
flashy. Yeah.
yeah, it's a bit
I
too
mean,
much. I can't
like,
take it seriously.
I'll be honest. I have been to some costume parties as one of the baseball furies. I've done a costume party as a baseball fury before, but only because I couldn't afford a sleeveless red burgundy Warriors jacket. Uh, but I could get hold of a baseball hat and a baseball jersey, and then just put some makeup on. But I feel like this film it's like a Clockwork Orange if it didn't take itself seriously and was amping up the fun.
Yeah,
I
I
see
get
a
the.
lot. I see a lot of Clockwork Orange in this film, but a Clockwork Orange is a fucking masterpiece. It's not a masterpiece, but it's great fun. Just so as you
Yeah.
know, just so as you know, I've looked it up. This is his third film. This is Walter Hill's third film. I thought it was his first. He'd done
Uh
another
huh.
film called Street Fighter and another film called The Driver beforehand.
The Driver might be one that I read the plot of. Well, part of it, the synopsis maybe actually.
Hmm.
I think it's like a heist
Oh,
thing.
he also did The Long Riders. Have you seen The Long Riders?
No.
I like that. It's like got like it's like a western, but it's got like a bunch of like famous movie brothers in it. So like
Hmm.
Dennis and Randy Quaid are playing brothers in it. You got David Carradine and his brother in it as well. Yeah, there's a few. There's like just like a bunch of famous brothers in it playing brothers. Decent little western as well.
All right, got to check out more of his stuff then.
Yeah,
Uh,
and like what the film that he's probably most well known for besides Warriors is Crossroads, or 48, all the 48 Hours movies. But Crossroads, have you heard of that?
Not sure. I know 48 Hours though.
So Crossroads is the film where Ralph Macchio from Karate Kid, he has like a guitar off with the devil for his soul. It's
Isn't that
great.
isn't
It's
that the
great,
plot of
man.
Tenacious D?
Yeah, yeah. It's the same. It's the same plot as Tenacious D, and it's fucking great. It's honestly really good. I really like Crossroads, and I don't like Ralph Macchio much, but I really like Crossroads. It's really really fun. I'd love to talk about the music in this. I
Go
really
on.
really love the music. It's my jam. You know, got like if we were to remake this, I want Goblin to do the to do the sound. I just want Goblin to do more soundtracks for movies.
Do they still make music?
I hope so because I'm going to be calling them.
They should be. I'm sure they probably still are.
But I love the music, man. The music makes me happy. It makes me smile. It's so 80s. Love it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, all the costumes are dumb as fuck, which I kind of like. Um, I do like that line before they get to the park. Like, what do you know about Cyrus? And the guy's like, magic, man, whole lot of magic. And I'm like, yeah, I'm so ready for this movie. Like, I love it.
Oh, what do you think of the Warriors themselves, the actual gang members? Because
Great, I love
they
them.
all got their own kind of like role within the gang, don't they?
So I love the Warriors. I love and like I've often said that they have the best costume. Like
They do.
they have the costume that you would want to have for yourself. And and I said this to my dad once, and he went, "Well, you know, there's a reason for that." I'm like, "Oh yeah, do they explain it?" He's like, "Yeah, they're the main characters." And I'm like, "Yeah, I suppose that is right." Yeah. Um, and then there's a lot of dumb costumes, and I do like the dumb costumes, but I would wear the Warriors jacket unironically. I love it. And then and all the cheesy dialogue as well. I fucking love.
You like it?
I love it. The speech that Cyrus gives, I fucking love. Can you count, suckers?
Can you dig it?
Can you dig
Yeah,
it?
that's it. That's it.
I love it. I love it. I really like all the cheesy dialogue, like the dated dialogue, even though it's meant to be set in a sort of alternate future. I love how dated it is. It's so it's all our turf, our little piece of turf. Can you dig it? It's great. It's great. Fucking love it.
Yeah, it's fun. And what I like about this movie as well, two things from that. One, so it's an alternative kind of future, but they don't really go further into it. It's just an alternative future
Yeah.
where the gangs have kind of taken control.
And,
There's
and
no
the thing is,
other crazy sci-fi or anything. That is
yeah,
just it.
that's all it
And
is, and you don't need
yeah,
any more. And this is
and
what I like about like when they made movies in the 70s and 80s about the future. It's always this kind of aesthetic where everyone wears fucking makeup on their face for just no reason because that's just what we'll do in the future. And like, you know, I love it in Clockwork Orange when they do, you know, because it's obviously set in the future, but they still couldn't have the foresight of having cell phones. So they still have to go round to each other's house to use a phone because they couldn't predict having a portable phone. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I think it's great, and I just love this sort of dated version of the future. Great fun. They did do
yeah.
they did technically do a sequel, although I never experienced it because it was a video game, and I'm not a huge gamer.
Yeah, I did know about the video game, yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, from what I've heard, the video game is a sequel rather than a interpretation of the movie. It's an actual sequel.
I think Rockstar made it, didn't they? I think it's supposed to be quite violent.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. I think also this film was it not banned or at least rated quite like an X or something because it was quite violent for the time?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I don't even think it's that violent, but maybe it glorifies
really.
violence to an extent. Maybe because it makes violence cool, but or it makes gang culture cool. Although I use the term cool loosely. Some of these gangs are not cool, but yeah, you know, some of them are not cool.
You know what I just read? So I was just wanted to see if it was what it was rated. So apparently, when it was released, there was like a lot of violence that followed. Like I'm reading this off Wikipedia. The following weekend, the film was linked to sporadic outbreaks of vandalism and 3 killings, 2 in Southern California and 1 in Boston, involving moviegoers on their way or to from showings. So yeah, that probably was not good.
I mean, they did cut the nunchuck scene in Enter the Dragon because people just went out and bought nunchucks and started taking them to like football games and stuff to beat each other up with. But it's a great sequence. In fact, they had to slow down the footage allegedly because Bruce Lee is so fast that the camera couldn't pick it up.
Yeah, I need to watch that movie again.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
So yeah. Go on.
Sorry, after you.
No, I was just going to carry on with the plot, but go on if you had something else to say.
I was just going to say, yeah, I was expecting it to be more violent than it was. But I think maybe I expected that because I knew about the game.
Yeah.
And it's not massively actiony, this movie. Like I was expecting a lot more action. And I think probably if someone remade it today, they'd probably put in a lot more.
Oh,
because that's our expectation now.
Oh, yes. I'd love a remake of this. I would love a remake. It's rare that I say I want a remake, but I think you can actually improve on this with amping up the violence a huge amount. Like we get a couple of moments where it's a little bit rapey, and
Yes.
I think if you double down on that a bit more, this could have been a really dark movie. But instead, it's just more, like you say, it's flamboyant, it's more fun, it's style over substance. Like, it doesn't mean a huge amount, it's just fun. And, like, what's his name? James Remar, who's probably the guy who made it biggest out of this cast with his career. He plays Ajax, and he is very rapey. He gets arrested by like an undercover cop who sort of entraps him. But the way he behaves with her, I'm kind of glad that she entrapped him. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I kind of liked you. At first, I just thought you're like, at first you just think he's like the muscle of the group. He likes to have a fight or whatever. But then the way he treats women, especially the way he treats this particular woman, it's very, very handsy, and and she's like, "Well, take it easy," and he's like, "No, I like it rough." And it's like you're in the middle of a fucking park, and you're meant to be on the run as well from people trying to kill you. But no, I'll stop for a minute to have a quick little rape in the park. And I'm like, sorry. And the way he words it as well to the rest of the warriors, he says, "I'm just going to get some exercise. You guys go on." It's like, fucking, yeah. I liked that character before that scene, and I'm glad he gets arrested and we never see him again.
Yeah, we never find out what happens to him. Probably went to prison, trying to rape an undercover cop.
Yeah, you'd like to think that definitely sees you go to prison.
Yeah. He also uses the word faggot a lot in this movie, doesn't he? Always accusing people of being gay. And I was thinking before this scene, okay, he's definitely in the closet, isn't he?
Well, again, though, wouldn't that be interesting to sort of have explored more? Maybe if a remake was made, he could be a closet case, and that would have been more interesting for the character. Although we would definitely get accused of being all woke, like turning warriors woke. Woke warriors, we could call it.
I wouldn't give a shit if people called it that. You know what else as well?
Not at all. If anything, I think it makes the character way more interesting, and like you can have more empathy for him. But the moment he starts doing this shit, you're like, oh, I liked you. Now I fucking don't.
Yeah. I was also speaking of characters that disappear, there's also one other character that falls under a train and then we never hear about again.
Fox, yeah. But so like we see him get run over by the train, but as far as the warriors are concerned, the last time any of them ever saw him, he was like having a bit of a rough and tumble with a police officer, and they legged it. But so they don't even know. They think
he's probably arrested.
Yeah, they don't even know that he's dead, and that would have been interesting, or at least we get something out of it if they find out later that he died. Then it could maybe have, I don't know, inspired them for something. I don't know.
I was actually thinking that guy's role was going to be more important later on, because he's actually the guy who spots this Luther guy from the rival gang shooting Cyrus.
From the roads.
So he sees it happen. So I thought, okay, maybe he's going to be the one to reveal later on that the Warriors were not behind it, but doesn't happen. It's just...
No, it doesn't happen.
He just dies.
In fact, we're lucky that someone else saw it. The audience didn't see him see it, but we find out later someone else did see it, and they're able to get the Warriors off the hook. But that's way at the end. I'm definitely going ahead of myself there.
Yeah.
Well, look, speaking of the guy from the Rogues, let's talk about it. It's Sully from Commando.
Yes, this guy.
And every time I look at him, I just can see Arnold Schwarzenegger holding him over a cliff. You remember when I said I'd kill you last? I lied. I just love that. And then the way he screams on the way down, that'll always be his moment for me. But also, Warriors, come out to play. I mean, look, he's got a really odd voice, but it's so iconic when he calls them out with the 3 bottles of beer. It's again, we're skipping right to the end of the movie, but it's so iconic. But when
it's definitely the most quoted line.
For sure. But then he's the one that shoots Cyrus, and again, we don't find it out until the very end of the movie. But when the Warriors confront the Rogues, and they say to him like, "Why did you kill Cyrus?" He just says, "I just like doing shit like that. I just like it. Like fucking that's the only reason he does it. Just to stir the fucking pot."
I was thinking,
I suppose it's good to get a villain where it's like they're just bad because they enjoy being bad.
Yeah. I was thinking that it was because they didn't want to be put into some kind of super gang. They wanted to be in control of themselves, like they don't want to be part of this huge organization with Cyrus on the top. They want to be their own thing, Now,
you see, that would make an awful lot of sense. And yet they make it very explicitly clear, I just like doing shit like that. Like, if you'd never explained it, then we could just assume that, like, they just like to be their own entity. They don't want to work under anyone. They think they're better. But no, we specifically do get a reason, and it's because they just enjoy fucking shit up.
Yeah.
So he shoots Cyrus after this amazing monologue. Don't tell me you didn't love this monologue. Every line of dialogue is dated as fuck, but my God, it's a great monologue. Can you count, suckers? Can you count? Because the whole point of this "can you count" is there's 60,000 of us. There's only 20,000 police in the whole city. We can rally the troops and just take over everything. And it's just a great, great monologue. So then the Warriors get framed. And I'm like, this is the only reason Sully, I'm just going to call him Sully. The only reason Sully from Commando frames the Warriors is because Fox saw that he was the one that killed Cyrus.
Yeah.
So he's like, that's them! That's the Warrior! And so he basically frames the leader of the Warriors, whose name's Cleon, I think. Was it Cleon?
Something like that.
Down. Well, yeah. So it is Cleon. So he gets killed by all the gang members, by the Riffs. Riffs, yeah,
the biggest gang.
I love that. That like he just comes out of Riffs, and then they all just in unison, yeah, right. And it's like that's so 80s. So they're like running, and they know, like they've said, "Oh, is the truce off?" Because Cyrus is dead. And then they're like, okay, if we get separated, meet at Union Square, because that's where we'll have to change the train to go to Coney Island. And then probably my favorite aspect of this movie, the way all the gangs sort of communicate and get their news, is it's something it's done on the radio through this like soul music radio station, and all of these things. It's kind of like in code, where like if you have the context, you know what's going on. But if you were just like a casual listener of the radio, you wouldn't know that this is all for like gangs to be listening to and like figuring shit out and communicating with each other. So I really and all you see is just a close up of this woman's mouth with this deep red lipstick on, and I always use the term boppers because of this woman. I think all you boppers out there, she's great. I love her voice. I love her dialogue. I wish we could see who she was. I wish we could see her face, but then at the same time, I'm glad we don't. Keep it nice and ambiguous. I love that. So yeah, that for me, that's my favorite character. Maybe that's definitely my favorite aspect of the movie. This radio DJ talking about all the gang stuff, and then the music that she plays is also like coded messages. Like this one goes out to the Warriors, and then it plays the song "Nowhere to Run To, Baby." It's like that's a great yeah. I really like that. I really like that.
Yeah, that was nice. I was thinking, are we to assume that they're very young,
Yes,
the gang
I
members?
believe.
Because
I think they're meant to be like 18 max.
I think they might even supposed to be younger than that,
Yes.
because they never, like, I was thinking the whole time, why do they never steal a car?
Yep.
Why do they have to use the subway? And I think it's because they don't know how to drive because they're too young. Although I do think, although I think a lot of the guys in this movie are, I don't know,
significantly older than that.
Yeah. But maybe it's just,
Cyrus
it's
looks
just
like
time.
he's in his 30s.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But he's part of a big gang. He's part of like a proper, like his guys all, the riffs are all like, what's the word I'm looking for?
I think he's meant to be the leader of the riffs, yeah.
Yeah. They're like proper, like, they're like an army. They're like, they're all trained.
They're all,
they have like, While the Warriors are just a small gang of like what? Probably, actually, hold on. We'd have to remember here, this is not the whole gang.
No, exactly.
This is just some representatives of the gang.
Yeah, we don't have the whole gang. Like we rarely see the whole gang for any of the groups. Like the orphans that we see in a little bit, Fox says to them, at full strength, they're about 30 people. So, and that's like a really low level, unheard of gang that don't really do much. So, like we can assume, what does Cyrus say? He says that like there's like 100 people in some of the gangs, maybe more.
Yeah.
Hence why there's 60,000 of them, technically, if they all work together.
Yeah.
Can you count suckers? Can you count suckers? I love that movie. Oh my god. So they get on the train, and there's a fire. So obviously, the fire's been set to stop them from going to Coney Island. And they get off, and they have to go through the orphan turf. And again, no one has heard of the orphans except Fox. Fox seems to be like the guy in the group that knows all of the gangs around New York. He knows even the low key ones. And then,
what did you think of the orphans? I thought they were kind of sad.
Yeah, well, they're meant to be pathetic. They're meant to be like really lame. They even Swan, the war chief, Swan even says, he says to everyone, like, don't go mental. Like whatever they say, like we're just going to get through here nice and calmly. And then when it comes to them having to take off their colours, and he went, fuck off. No, we're not doing that. and then he goes back to the rest of the Warriors. He's like, we're going to walk right through these lame fuckers' turf. And I don't give a fuck. We're just going to march right through. And then you've got this girl who's like obviously the girlfriend, I guess, of the leader of the orphans. And she is so antagonistic. Like she is
so annoying.
Yeah. She is stirring that pot. Like the orphans are totally cool with them just walking on through, all cool, everyone's respectful. And then she comes out, she starts making chicken noises, and it's like, okay, yeah, now it's on. And it's your fucking fault that it's on. And then you end up going with the Warriors. But this is all your fault. You wouldn't have had a fucking you wouldn't have gotten remotely confrontational if you hadn't come out and started being a twat.
Yeah. It was kind of stupid, to be honest.
Yeah.
There is also a moment a bit later in this movie where it seems to become all about the women for a minute. Like, so you have, we mentioned it earlier, this guy Ajax gets, tries to basically rape a cop.
Yeah.
While that's happening, we have three of the other guys. I don't know their names. Meet these women at the train station and go back to their place.
And it turns out that they're an all-female gang called the Lizzies.
Yeah. So that happens. And then while that's also happening, I think, or it might be a bit later, Swan is stuck with this girl, the same woman that you mentioned. I think her name is supposed to be Mercy. And yeah, I think it's kind of like, it's a weird moment in the film where it's kind of like it's almost taking a step back from the fact that they're running away for their lives. They're running for their lives to get back home. And like women are just suddenly the enemy for everything.
If I'm perfectly honest, I think I think these scenes detract from the movie because, like, it should be about like survival, getting home. We're all, even the prologue that they've added for the director's cut says like this is a story of courage, and I feel like this is it's like the movie just stops so we can have some like sexy vibes, and then the movie carries on.
Yeah, I found that a bit unusual.
Yeah,
not
unusual. I've come to expect this from movies sort of before 1991, but at the same time, I still feel that this. I just hate it when a movie stops to be sexy, and then it carries on again. Like Terminator even does it, where we get a sex scene. And I don't think you need that sex scene to know that they have sex and that he's John Connor's father. But, like, no, we have to stop the movie to give you a sex scene. And, the 80s, it's the one thing, I love 80s cinema, but it's the one thing about 80s cinema I'm not nostalgic for, when the plot just sort of stops to have a sexy moment. And I really don't, I really feel that, you need to amp up the fear factor more rather than amping up the sex factor.
Yeah. We said it before on other episodes. Unless it adds to the plot, there's no point. Yeah. It's not necessary.
Don't get me wrong. If it adds to the plot, great. Like, no problem. I've seen movies where sex scenes are integral to the plot. But I think this film, certainly, I think the Ajax sequence is fine. I mean, mainly because it's just sort of, it's telling us who this guy is as a character. He's a one-track mind kind of guy, and he thinks he can handle himself. So he's like, "Fuck you, faggots! I'm gonna go get some pussy," that. And I can buy his character doing that. But then the three other guys, they seem quite sensible. And they should be waiting at Union Square for the rest of them. And instead, they go and catch some tail. And I think that just doesn't make any sense.
The only way that I can make it make sense is the fact that they're very young and they're a bit naive. Although they do come across as quite sensible a lot of the time.
But this is the thing. Like, if they are meant to be young and naive, I think you need to make it clear. And then we can buy these moments more. But I think what we get, it's hard to buy. It's hard to buy that they would stop being careful just to go and hang out with some women that they've never met before. So you can't trust them. You don't know who they are. If Fox was there, he probably would have said to them, "Oh, it's the Lizzies." They're that all-female, they're that all-woman gang from Union Square, So, maybe that's why they needed Fox around. Maybe Fox is meant to be the sort of sensible linchpin. So when he gets killed off, maybe that's why everything sort of goes wrong.
Ah, yeah.
I love this scene. There's a scene where the rogues are on the phone finding out what's going to happen. Like, are the warriors, definitely... the ones that are being accused of the Cyrus killing. And then he gets off the phone and one of the mates is like, "Well, why are you looking so happy about it?" And then Sully just goes, "I'm having a good time." Oh, it's so dumb. I love it.
He does make the best out of that role, doesn't he?
Yeah.
The actor, I think.
He chews the whole fucking scene. I love it. And, but yeah, they so anyway, they have split up. We mentioned that Fox dies. Uh, Four of them get chased by the baseball furies, while three of them go to Union Square and meet the Lizzies. And then what? The baseball furies chase the four warriors through the park. That's where Ajax later tries to do that thing with the cop. But before the cop, another classic line from this movie: "I'm going to shove that bat up your ass and turn you into a popsicle."
Yeah, I
Great.
remember that one.
Classic line. I've quoted that line many times. All the times I've had gang warfare that I'm involved in.
Which has been a lot, right?
Many times. Especially using baseball bats.
Yeah.
And then, but there's one really funny bit that I wrote down in my notes. In that sequence, I'd never noticed it before. One of the baseball furies is obviously just standing there, waiting to get hit with a baseball bat. Like if you like watch the scene, it's so like he's doing nothing except waiting for the hit that he knows is coming because the director told him you're about to get hit by a baseball bat. And then, so Ajax gets all nasty with the cop. Swan goes on ahead, and the other two go back for Ajax, and then see him getting arrested. So those two are on their own. Swan meets up with the girl in the train station, and then they start getting stalked by the roller skate gang, whatever they're called.
They're a bit weird, that one.
Yeah. And then, but then Swan and the orphan girl start walking through the tunnels. The other three lads are with the Lizzies, and they get attacked by the Lizzies. But I don't know when it was, but I distinctly remember there's a bit where someone throws the baseball bat at a police officer, and it just goes slow motion, really unnecessarily.
Yeah, that was Swan. He threw it at his leg. I don't know why he threw it, because if it was me, I wouldn't throw a baseball bat. I'd keep that bat. You're going to need that.
Yeah. And then Swan is like really quite mean to the orphan girl. And I've written a line down where he says, "Why don't you just tie a mattress to your back?" So she's like gagging for it all the time. Then, not long after, he does kiss her, and then she's like, come on, and like she really wants him to just smash her there and then. And it's like, you guys really have more things to worry about. I don't know. Like, to be fair, Swan, he's like, nah, later, innit? But like, even though he just got done calling her a slag, he's like, nah, later. But she's like, come on. And it's like, yeah, I just don't. You are literally running for your lives. Can't this wait?
Yeah. Her whole motivation, I just can't make sense of. I don't really know what she wants. And like, she follows them all the way to the end of the film as well. And I think the film tries to make you like her.
It doesn't
and
work.
That she's now it doesn't really work. And it's trying to imply that she's part of the gang now.
Yeah.
But don't really believe it. I don't know.
No, I don't like it. I mean, even when we do finally get to Coney Island and they get off the train, Swan implies that they get there, they make it to Coney Island in the morning, and then Swan looks out on the city and he's like, this is what I've like risked my life for all night to get back to. It's a shithole. So then he's like, I might just go. I might just take off. I might just do my own thing. And then she's like, oh, well, I'm a bit of a traveller too. So it's like, oh, they're going to go live happily ever after, not being in a gang. But like, your entire motivation, like her entire motivation, well, the only motivation I can find from her is that she gets off on danger. So like, if Swan wants to go and live a quiet life away from gang stuff, then that's the polar opposite of what has motivated her the whole movie. So I don't know why she would want to go with it.
Well, the fallback reasoning that I come to when things don't make too much sense is that they're young and stupid. They're supposed to be
Yeah,
teenagers. That's really it.
yeah, I guess. Anyway, we've skipped a little bit. There's some more before they get back to Union Square. There was one gang that they try and avoid who are like driving around in like an old van to try and get them.
Yeah.
There's another gang. Oh yeah, the roller skate gang. We don't really see much of them, but they got an awful look.
They do.
Um, they're really long sideburns away from being the Hasidic Jew gang. On roller skates, though.
But they had this whole like they were wearing what would you even call it? This
I would say a Dennis the Menace T-shirt.
yeah.
Dennis the Menace T-shirts with dungarees, denim
Yeah.
dungarees, and roller skates. And it's like, yeah, this is no one's choice to look like this.
It's not threatening at all.
Not even a little bit.
I mean, the roller skates really make it very unthreatening.
Yeah.
I don't know. Although I say that, I think they do have probably one of the better fight scenes in the film.
The bathroom?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the thing. They all get back together at Union Square. Although obviously we're missing a few heads, but they all meet up, and it's like, oh, these guys are gonna come get me. So they all go in the bathroom. They all hide in the cubicles, and then they have this big rumble. I think it's the only word I could use for it. They have a rumble in the bathrooms, and yeah. But when they go in, the orphan girl says, "I can't go in there. It's a men's room." And I'm like, well, the rules haven't applied to you the whole fucking film. What? Why is it that this is where you draw the line?
Yeah.
Not all the killing and the Molotov. Like someone literally ripped her panties off and used it to make a Molotov cocktail.
It wasn't her panties. I think it was a part of her dress.
I thought it was her panties.
No, I think it's part of her dress.
Oh.
This movie's not that crazy.
Well, I think it is. But either way, like there are plenty of times I would have been very understanding that you drew a line. Not here. Not here. You're trying to avoid getting fucking attacked by these scary Jewish men on roller skates. and I'm sorry, but like, you know, hiding in a bathroom, whether it's a boys or a girls, is irrelevant. You're just hiding in a bathroom. And wouldn't you rather... Okay, I'll tell you what, you go hide in the girls' bathroom on your own then. you go for that. You see how far that gets you. I don't know. I just thought it was daft that she even brought it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have their little rumble. They burst out of the cubicles. The action isn't great in any of the action scenes in this movie, but like, you know, it's less about the action, it's more about the adventure. It's an action-adventure movie. But the action isn't great. But the adventure is. And then this is around the time someone speaks to the Riffs about how the Warriors aren't guilty for the Cyrus thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I tell you what, that I would say they're nearly at Coney Island, and it's the one moment of the film that I really feel like there's something going on. The director's trying to do something. So can we talk about this scene, right? Where they're nearly at Coney Island, and then these two posh couples get on the train.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all having like a good laugh and a good giggle, and they sit across from Swan and Orphan Girl. And they're like kissing and laughing, and then they notice them. And then the camera sort of pans, and we see that they're dirty under their fingernails and they've had a really rough night, whereas these guys are well dressed and they're, you know, probably got a lot of money. And then the orphan girl goes to fix her hair, obviously out of like some kind of self-consciousness, and Swan stops her from fixing her hair. And it's like, nah, fuck these people. And then they just get off on the next stop. I'd like to think that they weren't meant to get off at the next stop. They just thought,
Yeah.
let's get off this train. But yeah, can we, like, what did you get from that? Because like the movie doesn't really do that at all, except for this one scene. It's the only time besides police that we see people that aren't in a gang. And like, I suppose it's like the one chance we get to see what life is like for normal people in New York, in and amongst all these gangs. But then if you know there's gangs around, why are you getting on the train so late at night?
I don't know, man. It was kind of an unusual scene, yeah. I think it was trying to be a bit too smart for itself because...
There's an attempt at being clever here, isn't there?
Yeah, and it doesn't really work. Like, especially because, like, it's almost an empty train...
Yeah.
And they sit directly opposite the only other people there.
I know.
And like, what's with the awkward staring? And they don't even do anything like Swan and Orphan Girl, as you call her. Like, they don't do anything. They just sit there. They're not causing any problems. Like,
well, but in all fairness, they are wearing gang colours.
Yeah, but... I don't know. It felt kind of strange.
If you got on a train and you spotted some Crips or some Bloods doing nothing, they're minding their own business, but you'd be like, oh shit, that's one of them Crips or Bloods.
Yeah, you wouldn't sit near them. It does remind me of this...
You'd be weary, for sure.
Do you know about this group? What were they called? The Guardian Angels or something? They used to... they were like... what's the word I'm looking for? Vigilantes on the trains in the subway. They used to wear berets as well. Do you know about them?
No,
it does make me think about them. I forgot what they're called. Guardian Angels.
Are they those guys that would come on with a guitar and ask for money?
No, they were just like.
That's the only train gang I'm aware of.
They're not really a gang. They're just like they're a group. Okay, I wasn't listening properly. Actually, funny enough, they were founded in 1979, which is the same year. And literally, they were just like these young guys who, because basically the subways in New York used to be really dangerous. A lot of people would get mugged and even attacked on them and stuff. So like these guys pretty much just tried to...
It's Subway Batman. Well, okay. Well, look, we're right at the end of the film. Shall we wrap up here? We'll just finish this film and then we'll give our rating.
Yeah.
So they get to Coney Island. The rogues are there waiting for them. We get the whole "Warriors, come out to play!" Great line. And then they all like go for like a final confrontation on the beach. And I wrote in my notes here. I don't know what you thought. There's an awful lot of rogues there, but we only ever see one car. And I'm like, did all of them fit in the one car?
Like a clown car. Clown hearse.
It's weird. It was weird. I'm like, hang on a minute. I'm sure there was only the one car, but there's like 20 fucking people there. And then they have this moment where they pull the gun. He's like, Swan's like, me and you, one-on-one, mano-a-mano. And then he pulls out his gun. He's like, are you crazy, warrior? And then Swan throws his flip knife at him, gets him in the arm. He drops the gun, and then all of a sudden, riffs. Yeah, right. All the riffs just show up out of nowhere, and then the warriors are like, "Are you still looking for us?" He's like, "We found who we're looking for." And then Sully's like, "No, it was them, the warriors. It weren't us. It was the warriors." And then they take him away, and then the riffs go, "You're good, warriors, real good." And then they're like, "Yeah, we're the best." And then we get like a shot of the radio mouth, and she's like, "We're sorry, boppers. We're sorry, warriors. All we can say is sorry, and here's a song for you." And then that's it. That's the whole movie.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
love I love it. There's a lot of problems, but I do love this movie.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you can overlook the problems, can't you? Because the idea is very good.
I,
It's got soul there. It's got something
yeah,
good.
I really really love the movie. I like the concept of the movie. I just think is stellar. Great idea for a movie. Um, but yeah, I think some of the execution, I think it's limited by its budget and what they could do at the time as well. I think as Walter Hill made more and more movies, like this is 1979, I would say he's more seminal, like he's more important throughout all of the 80s. All of his best stuff was in the 80s. This is not his best stuff, but it might be one of his most iconic. It's
Hmm.
really, really good, like really fun. But you see, like the more Walter Hill movies you watch, he definitely gets stronger as a director. Even Long Riders, which is his next film, is very, very, very good. I really like it, and it's a better film than this. But this is definitely very fun, and I don't think you can do an 80s I know it was come out in 1979, but I don't think you can do an 80s marathon without this movie. It is so of its time. It's like it's great. I just love it. I just love it.
Yeah, I'm also really glad that we watched this because it's something I needed to do for a while, and it's a great movie. I'm really happy we watched this one.
Craig, you came to play.
What are we going to
Well,
rate this
well,
one?
I would like it. I would like to see if you're like. I want to hear your rating, but I'd love it if you could find the original cut and see if your rating changes at all. That'd be interesting.
I was also wondering about that because I don't know how you're watching this film. Uh, Maybe we shouldn't get ourselves into trouble by admitting something we shouldn't be doing. But like on what I use, there are like different servers. And the first one I clicked on, I was really confused. It was like had a BBC logo in the top left, and it was like some English house. Like, what the fuck is this? And I changed, like, it was some half an hour TV thing, and then it took me I had to go through a few different servers to find one that was loading because the second one I found it worked, but then it wasn't playing. And then finally I found one that worked for me. And I'm wondering that if I checked out a few other servers, if I'd find a version that was different. Because somehow we watched the same one, I think, because you also had the beginning bit that you hadn't seen
Yeah.
before.
Well,
But yeah,
I've got a feeling just like all the things you can find online are probably the most up to date director's cut thing. The same with Star Wars.
true.
I reckon if you went and tried to watch Star Wars: A New Hope, it would be that George Lucas cut that everyone complains about with the extra CGI and all this.
Yeah, I had the same thing with Lord of the Rings a few years ago
There you
because me
go.
and the wife wanted to do like a whole marathon, and we didn't realize it was a director's cut and it was much longer. But actually, I will say for the director's cut, I kind of liked it because I learned a few things I didn't know. Like there's a few little random things, like for example, what's his name, Aragorn. Because if you watch the original three movies, you wouldn't know that he's supposed to be like 80 years old. But then it's revealed at one point that he's like 80 years
What?
old. Oh, yeah.
He's eight.
He's super.
What?
He's in his 80s, yeah.
Well,
But
how
he
does he
doesn't
look?
age. He
Why?
doesn't age because he's
Why?
like he's part elf, like really far back.
Oh, that's so.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad I haven't seen that.
Anyway, I wouldn't have known that. But yeah, it would have been also maybe good to see the original, but might be tricky to find.
Well,
Uh,
I've got a DVD somewhere back in England, so maybe I'll just get my dad to send that out.
I'm actually thinking to buy a DVD player. Sounds
Yeah,
really dated, but I've got like
no,
so many
I'm
old
thinking of
DVDs.
I'm thinking of getting a VHS player.
Really?
Why not?
Wow.
Why not? They're fun.
Vintage.
Or VHS DVD combo.
Oh, that would be nice.
Cover
That
all
would
your
be very
bases.
nice. Yeah.
So go on. What's your rating?
So I think I did actually look at this on IMDb before, so I think I remember what it was, but I think I kind of agree with it. I think it's about a 7 something, to be honest. It's a very good movie. I enjoyed it. I liked it. It is a bit dated and it's got a few funny areas. So I think 7 something. Maybe give it a 7.5. I think that's pretty fair for this movie.
7.5 is what it gets on IMDb. I think it's probably Walter Hill's highest rated movie, but I wouldn't call it his best movie.
Should I have a look? Actually, you want to give your rating first?
I've got it up. It's 7.5.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd get that right. I knew it was 7 something.
I'd give it a 7. Solid 7. I think it's great fun, but after watching it this time, I noticed a lot more things that I have problems with. Whereas when I was a kid watching it, I'm just like, oh, fun stuff. But now I'm watching it and I'm like, that could be better. That's a bit shit. Like, and this, that, and the other. So I think if you'd asked me what my rating was before rewatching it, I would have been more like 7.5 to 8. But I'm going to actually go down a bit and go to 7.
Really? Okay. All right. I rated it higher than you. I'm surprised.
I do love it. I do love it, and I think some of the dialogue is just bloody amazing.
Yeah, I did read that. Looking over the critical reception of the movie when it came out, some people actually didn't like the dialogue. They thought it was really bad. So it's funny that you like it.
I love it. I love it. I just love that it's like it's big, but I think I love it because it's bad.
Yeah.
Can you dig it?
It makes me think of like a wrestling promoter. Big Cyrus's big speech. Yeah.
Can you count, suckers?
You know what else I just remembered about that scene as well? It made me laugh a little bit. So they're meeting in a park, right? And I was just thinking, like, at one point, Cyrus, he gets on, like, I guess something like a stage, and he starts climbing up this structure, like a higher level, a higher platform. And I was just thinking, is that going to be like a kid's slide or something that he's climbing up?
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, maybe it's just me.
I think maybe it should be kids. I hadn't thought about it, but maybe if we recast it, we'd have like Tom Holland and like a bunch of 15, 16-year-old all the Stranger Things actors.
Tom Holland's not that young anymore, though. What is he like? He's not much younger than us.
He can still play 15.
Born in 96, he's 4 years younger than me. Maybe I could play a teenager.
Can I play?
No, I don't think so.
I want to be Spider-Man. Really? He's not okay. I thought he was younger.
He's 28 years old.
Oh, I thought he was younger. He's the same age as my brother. I thought he was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, let's save that for the next one.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming out, everyone. We are Film Shrapnel. Go check us out on all the social medias. Craig, do you have anything you want to say?
Not really.
Can you count?
I think I can count. More or less. Somewhat.
All right, sucker.
Yeah, I think stay tuned for our next episode. Should follow this one where we recast. It's not a recasting. Tobias has a plan to remake this movie, and he's going to share it with me, and we're going to discuss it. Yeah, maybe we might also recast a little bit.
Next episode, I'm pitching my remake of The Warriors. I've got a vision. Thanks for coming out, all you boppers.
Later, boppers.
Laters, boppers.
Bye-bye.